Hello, this is Nate Simpson, former creative director of KSP2. Um, I've been kind of circling uh, whether I should make some kind of communication regarding events of the past 6 or so months. As you could probably imagine, I have signed an NDA, and you know, I think it's kind of an open question about where the boundaries live around what I can and cannot speak about in detail. But I've kind of come around to feeling like I should say something. Um, this is not my first attempt. I've tried writing some things. I've tried recording some things. And generally those attempts have turned more into personal therapy sessions, and this one may also turn into that, but let's see where I end up on this one. If you're watching it, I guess I felt comfortable with this collection of thoughts. um, so yeah, I worked on KSP2 for I think it's about 7 years. Uh, I think it's kind of a matter of public record that I was a very big fan of the original game, and really did feel like getting to work on this project was a dream come true, as I'm sure it would be for a lot of people from the KSP community. But my involvement in the project really boiled down to kind of knowing on the first day I worked on it what shape it needed to be, and then pushing with all my might on the world's heaviest boulder for 7 years. And sometimes, with the help of some really, really talented people, that boulder moved a little bit, but it was very hard work for everyone involved. It was not an easy project to work on. And the final year after we released in early access was definitely the most challenging year. It was also the year I feel that we saw the most progress day to day. We were very motivated once our work was being shared with the public in close to real time. But one thing that I regret is that during that time, as the sort of face of the project, and as the person who had made a lot of promises to the community about what the game would contain, once we were out, once people were spending money on it, I personally felt a huge burden of responsibility to deliver against those promises. And I think sometimes the weight of that caused me to fail to recognize healthy work-life boundaries. And I really want to apologize, especially to my coworkers who got Slack messages from me either at night or on weekends. I think the design team in particular got sort of bore the brunt of my feeling like I needed to do something at all times. The brunt of my, waking up in the middle of the night with, with thoughts that for some reason couldn't be shared, 8 hours later during normal work hours. So specifically to the design team, Shayna Markham, Chris Adderley, Tom Vanita, um, I know that I was a source of stress in your lives, and I am sorry for transmitting the stress that I was feeling to you all. Yeah, I mean, since the closure of Intercept, I, like everyone else on the team, has been going through the stages of grief. I think I moved through those stages slower than most people because I was the last to accept that, we weren't going to make it. I fought right up to the last second and had managed to fully convince myself that somehow, through some miracle, we were going to find a way to pull it out right up to the end. I was not able to speak freely. I was not able to communicate with the public during that time, regardless of whatever desire I felt to do so. And that, it was a very awkward position to be in. And I don't know if this is just going to turn into me apologizing to everybody. I hope not. I do also feel bad about having become difficult to contact by a lot of the people who were doing YouTube videos, or sort of your Shadow Zones and your Matt Lowndes of the world had an experience of me going dark, which felt bad for me. I'm sure it felt bad for them. Yeah, I got nothing but love for those people. I don't know if you've ever gotten to meet any of those people. I know Shadow Zone was sometimes critical of aspects of our project, but I always felt like he was even-handed. I always felt like he had an unusual insight into software development processes. And also like a great hang, like a really nice guy. So yeah, miss you, dude. Matt Lowndes, very nice guy. Who else? Everyday Astronaut. You know how he seems impossibly cool and nice in his videos? He's that guy. He is that guy in real life. An absolute treat. Yeah, so I guess that's all in the past now. I don't really know what to do next. I know there is I would assume that there's potentially some radioactivity around my name. I am associated with a failure to deliver against some very big promises. Yeah. So it's not a fantastic job market either. Even people who aren't in that position within the games industry are discovering that every role is getting hundreds or even thousands of applications. So it's kind of a dark time to be looking for a job in games. Yeah, maybe I will not circle look too deeply into the abyss of my job prospects right now, because this is not about that. I'm gonna miss the people that I worked with a lot. I'm gonna miss working on a project that I cared about as much as I cared about KSP2. I'm gonna miss this community. Especially when we got to meet people in person, it was always a very positive experience. And yeah, it was a happy season of life. It seems hard to believe that the franchise will just go away from the universe. I don't even know who owns it right now, but as bittersweet as it might be to see someone else finally realize the dream of colonies and interstellar travel, I do hope that somebody someday manages to make that dream come true. Because as a player, I would love to experience it. That's what got me out of bed every morning. Yeah, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see who carries that torch forward. Yeah, the way that I've been sort of spending the last few months since the end of Intercept is to try to make something again myself, to actually bend to metal and not be a person who tells other people what to do. I've been learning Unreal, learning animation, learning Blender, just being a student, trying to be a sponge again. I'm very curious just how much one or two people can do, for reasons that are probably obvious. I am eager to explore other ways of making games, and just trying to, fall back in love with the process, get back in touch with the things that made me want to make games to begin with. This is a downer. I'm giving off some downer energy, aren't I? Well, I feel sad. I know a lot of people feel sad about where things ended up, and I am one of those people. Yeah. Well, I don't know how much more there is to say. If I manage to get some traction on some new thing, I'll poke my head up again and probably take a few vegetables to the face. But yeah, I hope tomorrow looks a little better than today. Have a good one. Bye.